I'm sure you've heard this saying before, health is wealth. If you haven't, then today is your first time hearing it. And it's absolutely true. The person who is a billionaire but is sitting on their deathbed, they would spend all that money to just be healthy. And that just proves that health is wealth. But in today's video, not to get too grim here, I want to go over this brand that is a nutrition brand on Shopify, of course, that is generating $2.5 million per month. And it is an absolutely perfect brand. So I want to break down the data behind it, see what we can find, the marketing behind it, and just give a few pieces of advice when it comes to the landing pages and the overall market, since at Akemi, my company, we do work with some brands that are in this category and that are clearing nearly $1 million a month. So part of the reason I'm doing this is because I want to study more brands in this space. But this is a brand. It's called 310 Nutrition. Pretty interesting name. And as you see, they sell all sorts of supplements, basically meal replacements. And this is really smart because meal replacements are a great way to lose weight, to get additional nutrients. Let's say if you are on a vegan diet and you're not getting all the necessary nutrients you need, this is a great solution for that. So they basically sell mainly shakes, and they have a massive community around this. As you see, it's plant-based, sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and no artificial flavors or sweeteners. So that's a pretty great product, right? It sounds like the perfect product. As you see, they have some incredible imagery, some really nice content with the product. And this is probably one of the best ways, I think, to showcase the product, in my opinion, is to show it in its final form with some really delicious meals. That's one thing I'm getting right now that I find really interesting and smart, as opposed to just, the powder or something, right? Because I'm sure this looks like a powder. It doesn't look appealing at all, probably. And they don't showcase what it actually looks like. They only showcase the final results. So that's actually quite smart because it gets people in the mindset of wanting that final result as opposed to looking at a, pile of powder. Now, of course, this is probably one of the reasons that this brand is so powerful is the recurring subscription aspect to it. This to me is how you make an e-commerce business have a software business valuation, is by having recurring revenue as a foundation for the business. It's super smart. And then they have a whole Learn tab, which is another key component, in my opinion, to building that recurring revenue model, is actually teaching people how to use the product to live a healthy life. Super smart. They have a blog, they have recipes, and then they have, of course, the Facebook community. So really, really good. They have guides. So they're really going above and beyond for their community. And that's really what it takes to build a business to this extent. Because to be honest, even though the product is great, let's actually go take a look at their main product. This is what it is. It's basically like a one product store almost. Let's do just the vanilla cake. I'm guessing this is their most popular one. The landing page is actually quite simple. It's just some really good images. And this is what I say a lot to the Akemi Lab members as well, is that a lot of the times one of the best investments you can make to boost your conversion rate and boost your brand appeal is just get really good product images. And this is a great example of that because the product images really carry the store. I mean, the design isn't that crazy. You could design something like this pretty affordably. And the images, however, are really, really what set it apart. And they're doing the same thing that I mentioned at the beginning, where they're not even showing you the powder at all. Well, right here they are a little bit, but they're just showing you the finished product, which is actually so genius in my opinion. And there's definitely a lot that we can learn from that. Now, let's look at the data behind the traffic, because this is where we can uncover a lot of interesting stuff. These days, I feel like a detective. That's why I have the L profile picture, because he was a detective, basically, solving interesting cases. And I'm doing the same thing, but for e-com. So most of their traffic here comes from the United States, unsurprisingly. However, Canada is starting to pop off. 20% increase in traffic from Canada, even though it's still 2.6%. But still an interesting thing to notice. Then let's take a look at some of their organic search terms. Of course, 310 Nutrition. That's their brand name. And then in here, it's weight loss supplements. That's a really strong keyword. And let's see, they have, wow, one of their paid search terms is Kachava, which is actually their competitor. Classic stuff in the e-commerce space. People are sharks out here. This is a bloodbath. People are bidding on each other's brand names and things of that nature. And, it kind of makes sense to do that, but it's also a little bit shady. Now, as you see, most of their traffic from social actually comes from Facebook, surprisingly. So almost entirely Facebook. Instagram is a small sliver of a percentage compared to their Facebook traffic. That tells us don't sleep on Facebook. Facebook is very powerful still. Regardless of what anybody might say about it, it actually is driving significant volume for e-commerce businesses. So keep that in mind. Also, for theme pages, this is a bit random outside of e-com, but that's a great way. In yesterday's video, that was the advice from the 22 million a year e-com business guy. He said, if you're going to start a business, start by just building an audience. Build a theme page. That's what they did with dogs. They built a page called I Heart Dogs, and then they created it into an e-commerce business, but they actually started the page on Facebook, and you can still do that. Facebook is very powerful and a lot more untapped than, let's say, TikTok. So you could start a really powerful theme page on Facebook around really any topic, but that's something to consider for those of you out there that are looking into that avenue for making money online. I think it's a great one personally, because it can lead into a variety of business opportunities. So that's really about it. Just wanted to show this to you. Check out Academy Lab in the description. I would love for you to join if you want to interact with me every day. If you want to get some of our exclusive research, we drop a lot of really good research there every day. And we're only dropping more. We're really trying to listen to the community and see what they want. And I'm going to continue to invest a lot of money into the research for the group. But that's it. See ya.